Hello everyone and welcome back to the second episode of this small building series. And for today's errands or for today's episode, we will make a small moss farm and turn it into a bone meal farm. As you can see, I've been using quite a lot of grass, bushes, and in the future ferns. So having a bone meal farm is much better and will help me throughout this whole series as well. You can see that the last episode we built some things like this. This is the iron farm that I have, and it's just a small house with some trees on the side. And this is my starter house. You can see I am just starting the series, and let's just build something here. But first, we will build a tree, a custom tree. And that custom tree will be located behind that wall right there. I will build a oak tree right around here, since if I look at this direction from up there, it looks like it's empty and there's need to be something right around here. So that is the first thing that we're going to do. So let me just collect all of the items and let's just build this thing. Let's build it. And I've finished the tree. So let's take a look at it. So this is the tree, and I'm just experimenting with a different kind of block that resembles a tree bark. As you can see, I have used tough since it is one of the closest blocks that pretty much resemble a tree bark. Since trees are not always brown, they are usually gray color. So yes, using this glass panes, or in this case light gray glass panes, make it make the wall stretch quite a bit, so it look like connected. So if there's no light gray panes right here, there will be a small gap here, and it will look like this. So there will be no, it will be not like a half slab much. So yeah, so with the use of that, the use of walls, panes, and stairs, and pretty much slabs, I'd achieve some branches, so it looks pretty good. Now, when you're walking here, it's quite immersive. There's leaves falling, there's leaf litter right around here, and it's just fun. Yeah, I also played around with the color of the, let's just say, leaves. You can see inside here it's much more darker and going light and light, and the lightest is the azalea leaves up there. So you see it's dark under here and it's light over here. So yeah, so just playing with colors can give that kind of an effect that it's darker here because the light can pass through here and the light is going here. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this tree. And the next thing is we just need to build a small moss farm. This moss farm is from a YouTube video, and I will put a link down below, and in the top right corner there will be a small thing that will pop up. I don't know what it's called, but that is the YouTube video of this specific moss farm. And also I've pretty much gathered all of the items that is here. This is all of the items that I need, and all of these items was also in the YouTube video. So if you wanna try this and you wanna try building this moss farm, just watch that YouTube video and just follow it. It is a tutorial after all. So without further ado, let's just build this thing. So the moss farm will be built in here. So I just need to make this much more bigger, give it much more room, since I will also decorate these things down here now. Since I don't really want the moss farm to be plain, just redstone. Too much. I want to have some decorations. I want it to be presentable, as you know. And just need to clear up some spaces here. And after quite a while of digging, I got this big area here for the farm itself. So let's build it. So I have finished the moss farm and AFK'd for a bit, and I got all of this. So it's pretty fun, it's pretty nice to have. As you can see, it is now currently turned off, and it is now a moss farm and a bone meal farm by just adding these two and rerouting this to here. Routing the hopper to here and adding a hopper that connects to this chest. So it is now a moss farm and a bone meal farm. It's pretty nice. So again, a small reminder about the video itself. The video itself of this, or the tutorial of this moss farm, is not that good, since some of the items are missing, like some of the chests are missing. If you want to do this kind of thing, that moss farm and bone meal farm, you need quite a lot of chests. A torch is missing and 6 piston is missing, so just be ready for that if you want to copy this kind of design. I mean, it's nice, it's working quite well. I am producing 4 products at the same time, so moss and bone meal, so it is quite nice. Now, since the moss farm is built, we just need to make the house up here. So the house up here will be playing around the blocks, like, let's just say, light blocks, like I think it's strip pale oak. It will use strip pale oak, smooth quartz, just to play around the lightness, just play around light itself. So I think there will be just a simulation. There will be a light coming from here and shining down to the house itself that will be right around in this part. So I just need to get quite a lot of items to just build this house. I think we just going to have a small montage of getting all of those items. And yeah. And after quite a while, I got all of the items. And this took me a very, very long time. But since I got all of the items, and these are all of the items, and there are some in my inventory, so it's all of the items that I need for this build. You can see, It is quite a lot. And for the build palette itself, we'll be using these blocks. So the stairs are for the roof and light, transition, and the darkest block. So pretty much I will show you. So here, pale strip oak log and smooth quartz block, bone block, and mushroom stem. I mean, it's a weird combination, but it is a great transition from the lightest to darkest block. And for a small transition from the darkest block, which is the shadow of this build, we will have a diorite and clay. So diorite in here and clay in here. So I mean, if you look at this in very close, it will not look great, but from afar, it looks beautiful. So I'm just here for the colors of the blocks itself. So yeah, so this two is just for a transition from the light blocks to much more darker blocks. And the darker blocks are these guys. These guys are going to be dark blocks of this build, which is andesite, pale moss, and tough for the darker tone. So yeah, that's pretty much the walls of this build, and it's just a gradual decrease from light to dark. So how about the roof? The roof is will be consisting of these blocks, which is a mixture of mud mud brick stairs, granite stairs, jungle stairs, and oak stairs. So here, and I I use a gradient using these combination of blocks, and it turned out really fun and really cool. So as the sunset setting, let's just build this thing, and let me show you the end result. And after a while of building, it's done. It looks really great if you look at this angle. It's it is actually meant to be looked at this angle, and the use of blocks is paying off. The use of pretty much light blocks and gradually decreasing to darker blocks under the tree. It's pretty much it makes sense. And this build is one of the biggest build that I've built in this world. Pretty much just one, two, three, four builds right now, but it is one of the biggest and it's one of the prettiest, I think. Yeah, it's one of the prettiest build that I've built for quite a while. and it's just a simple gradient of blocks, a simple shape, and there's just a big tree. I think the big tree really makes this build stand out. And again, I've used the small method of using candles as birds, and from afar it looks quite great. Even from this distance it looks like birds. So yeah, just use your imagination. And yeah, this build is very nice. So let's take a look inside. From inside, it's just a small interior, nothing much. It's just counters, a cauldron for washing your hands, leaves, shelves, which is pretty nice actually. A chair. Let's looking outside. Plants, some pots of plants. I like this design. I've used this in the episode 1. It's just simple. It's just a lever and candle on the top. Back here, just a small garden. Some bush that's creeping on the tower. Fountain to add interest. Some details here, some small flowers, wildflowers, and some leaf litter since we have a big tree. This tree is one of the biggest that I've built, and I also use the method, which is the method of using light blocks for a area that is being shined upon by light much often than the area that's not being pretty much light upon, which is much more darker here. In this case, I am using spruce leaves, and for the lighter area, I'm using azalea leaves, so it gives that small effect, and it's pretty much turning out really well. So upstairs, we have a room, but down here is the moss farm. As you can see, it's just a moss farm. It's doing well. It's producing quite a lot of bone meal actually. Up here, of course, we have the bedroom. It's just a small bedroom. It's nothing much. A chair here, a light for mobs not to spawn here, a bed for whoever lives here, and yeah, some smoker for the chimney. So if you go up again, it's the tower. It's like a bell tower actually. I don't know. I just made it a small tower just to look out from the village. So that is pretty much the build. And I think it turned out pretty well. It really looks good actually. Really love it. Yeah, I love this build. Unfortunately, that is all the time that I have for today, and thank you very much everyone for watching this video, and thank you for watching the second video of this channel. See you guys again in the next video. Thank you very much everyone. Bye bye!